Welcome to P3 2025, Canada's Infrastructure Conference. Please welcome to the stage Lisa Mitchell, President and CEO of the Canadian Council for Public-Private Partnerships.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you to P3 2025. And what a year it has been. I think we certainly have a lot to unpack and to talk about. I'm thrilled to see everyone again. As usual, your energy, your experience, and passion are the spark that we're going to need for the next 2 days. I do want to take a moment to thank everyone who made this year's event possible. Our board, our sponsors, our incredible lineup of speakers, and the dedicated teams behind the scenes. Because of your support, we can gather here each year to learn, to challenge assumptions, and to collaborate on the issues that matter most to Canada's infrastructure leaders, the people who design, build, operate, maintain, and finance the critical assets that Canadians depend on every single day. Our shared goal has always been to do better, to provide greater value to taxpayers, to strengthen our communities, to make our economy more resilient and robust, to innovate, to evolve, to advance. There is no better place to do this than right here, right now. But first, in the spirit of truth and reconciliation, we acknowledge the land we gather on is the traditional territory of many Indigenous nations. Toronto is on the lands of the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. And it is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Our conference brings together colleagues from every region of Canada, and we also honor the many Indigenous nations whose lands you call home. As we all know, 2025 has been a year of challenges and change. The world order is shifting. Economic certainties are few and far between, and long-standing relationships are being tested. And yet, amid all of that, there is tremendous opportunity. Canadians aren't standing still. They're adapting and finding new ways forward. Governments across the country are working together like never before to remove obstacles that stand between vision and delivery. Together, these efforts tell a story. And at the heart of that story is infrastructure. Infrastructure is always part of the national narrative. It's playing a supportive role in underpinning the issues that are top of mind for Canadians. But now, in this moment, infrastructure is the story. And that spotlight is both a challenge and a privilege. The people in this room, I think, are ready for that challenge. At the Council, we've witnessed resolve across the country. Steady progress on education bundle projects in Alberta, the construction of Nova Scotia's largest healthcare facilities, and the announcement of new high-speed rail. These are projects that improve how Canadians learn, travel, work, and live. Projects that create jobs, strengthen supply chains, and fuel local economies. In 2022, in my first conference as President and CEO, I spoke about our industry as nation builders, that we don't just build projects, we build Canada, road by road, bridge by bridge, institution by institution. And now, in 2025, we have the entire nation's attention to show Canadians through our actions, our innovative thinking, and our outcomes that this industry is here for them. That we build not only for contracts or milestones, but for communities, for reliability, for legacy. Expectations are high, and rightfully so. So our response must balance urgency with care, innovation with accountability, and bold objectives with practical execution. Because this is the work that builds trust. With that in mind, this year's program reflects the realities of shaping Canadian infrastructure and the future we must prepare for. Over the next 2 days, you'll find space to question assumptions, share experiences, and spark ideas that lead to action. Today, we open the conversation made for this moment. Canada is navigating global uncertainty and the promise of renewed nation-building agenda. Our opening keynote will set the stage with insights on how Canada can strengthen resilience and economic independence amid changing U.S. priorities and global pressures. Ottawa has set bold goals, and the private sector is ready to move. But the path from announcement to action is never simple. Our opening panels will go straight to the heart of it, how we, as Canada's infrastructure leaders, can deliver on the build agenda, and how we attract the private capital needed to turn vision into reality. Together, these conversations go beyond the headlines to explore the policies, the investments and partnerships that will define the next generation of Canadian infrastructure. Over the next 2 days, you'll hear from government leaders with their hands on the next wave of projects, as federal, provincial, territorial, and municipal representatives share what they are looking for in a new era of partnership and collaboration. But this year's program isn't only about big picture policy. We will also spotlight the industry experts who drive delivery. You'll hear directly from project teams about what worked, what didn't, and how they turn challenges into opportunities. With workshops and panels exploring new models and new approaches in housing, transportation hubs, and the use of emerging tools like artificial intelligence across the infrastructure lifecycle. Our program reaches the breadth and depth of the industry's capabilities. This year's program also reflects a sector that's both evolving and maturing, one that's looking beyond the shovels in the ground. Because nation building doesn't stop when the ribbon is cut. It continues through strong operations, proactive maintenance, and thoughtful hand-back planning. That's how we protect public value for generations to come. This is a good time to put down your hard hats in favor of your thinking caps, roll up your sleeves, and explore how fresh approaches shape the future of infrastructure. As we discuss nation building, the sometimes technical language of data and policy makes us lose sight of whom we are building for. For most Canadians, success is measured in the everyday. Lights that stay on, water that flows, commutes that shorten, and hospitals that heal. Outcomes that are simple to describe, but very complex to deliver. And that's why communication matters. When we communicate well, we turn technical language into human stories. We turn contracts into confidence. When we speak clearly and consistently, we earn the trust that sustains our industry. And that trust fuels the next generation of partnerships. This year, the call to continue building has never been louder or more urgent. How we build, where we build, what we build will shape our communities and our country for decades to come. Together, we have the expertise, the experience, and the determination to keep Canada moving forward. Let's leave this conference ready to speak with one voice, to advocate with purpose, and to turn promising ideas into lasting infrastructure for every community in this country. Nation building is not a sprint. It's going to require steady effort, clear priorities, and follow-through. So let's make the most of the next 2 days. Let's ensure that the ideas shared here echo far beyond these walls. Let's show them that the nation builders are practical, innovative, and deeply committed to serving Canadians, because this is our moment.